Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche Pregame Show presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR to sign up for a new account to get amazing odds boosts every single day. AJ, Rudo, and Blaze coming it to you as the Avs are taking on the Arizona Coyotes. The last of this little homestand here before they go out on the road. It probably falls into must-win territory just given the opponent, given that the Avs need the points.
Yep, you got to win this hockey game.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I believe it. Seems like they watched some of our shows lately.
It was a good time.
Miko back with McKinnon.
Yeah, I mean, they're welcome. You know? I'd like to say it was, we're always happy to give out free advice, but we get paid, so.
We do get paid. It's true.
Yeah.
The advice can be free, though.
No, you should bill for that for sure.
I mean, the Avs aren't paying our salaries, I don't think, unless I'm wrong, but.
Just send them an invoice, see what happens.
Kind of.
I mean, in a way, but not the actual cash.
Yeah, the actual cash is not coming from them, but, in a way, they are responsible.
I guess that's fair. I'm not going to argue it. Erod fills out that top line with Mack and McKinnon, and so you have the leftover being Lehkonen, Nichushkin, and Compher right now on the second line. I know you've been calling for Rantanen and McKinnon together. Are you comfortable with the rest of that in the top six and how it shook out?
Was not the plan. Was not my preference there. Having Lehkonen and McKinnon, they continue to work well together. So that was kind of the point. But getting Mikko and Mac together was the main point, and so I don't think I really care that much about who's on the left side.
Just let the rest deal with it once those two are together.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Blaze?
I mean, Lecky's game just kind of offsets the other two people on that line if you kept them up there instead of Erod. I don't think Erod and Lecky really have the same game, so we'll see.
It is and it's definitely a different look.
Yeah.
I don't really understand what the appeal for them is, but
I guess my appeal is you're taking two streaky guys in Erod and Compher and separating them.
I guess.
So if you get a night where they're both not going, it's not like that line isn't just dead, I guess.
Yeah.
But you have that chemistry on that first line.
But I just don't. I look at that second line and I go, how does it work? Because I don't know if I trust the finishing of any of those guys on a consistent basis. Sure, Compher can bring out some great shots occasionally.
Yeah.
I don't really. I guess this year Compher has been a better playmaker.
It's been a while, but yeah.
But it's especially against a team like Arizona, where you're probably looking. Compher's been a little bit quiet the last couple of games. It's a game you'd like to get him going a little bit.
Totally.
I don't know if this is the best setup for the Avs to do that specifically, but if Mac and Mikko go off for 4 goals and they win the game, I'm certainly not going to complain.
Well, and I think that's really where they're looking at it, and they're saying, "Hey, let's just bury these guys."
Sure.
Yeah.
They've Nick Schmaltz, Clayton Keller, like that's like the combo that Arizona kind of has. Just go out and be like, "Well, McKinnon
they can't hang with these two." Yeah.
Pretty good.
We'll play your top two versus our top two, and we'll win. It's kind of how they're looking at it. I mean, and
it's exactly it.
Yeah. The other thing too is like you have 2 players on that team. If you shut those 2 guys down,
like Lawson Krause is a good third banana, but Lawson Krause or Val Nichushkin,
right at almost
Cale
every
McCarr.
spot.
Well, and then as you go down, to be honest, the gaps actually get even bigger.
Yeah.
Because they run out of true these guys will be in the NHL for a long time. They run out of them really quickly.
Yeah.
The Coyotes are bad. They've been really weirdly good at home this year. They've been really competitive at Mullet Arena, but away from Mullet Arena, they are not good.
So, at what point do the Avs start experimenting a bit more with this 2C position? It's been Compher for the most part since the trade deadline has happened. Is it going to stay that way, or do you think we'll see Erod slide in there? Could they move Newhook up? Could they experiment with even Eller maybe in that spot?
I'll give it one more week.
One more week?
I'll give it the road trip.
All right.
And the end of the road trip, what is it, a week from Today's Saturday,
Yeah,
right?
it's
So a
something
week
like
from
that.
today, when they're in Detroit, that's the last time I'm giving JT Compher that look for a while. If
he doesn't
yeah,
get
if we
together,
don't start
yeah.
to see something.
Okay.
Well, especially after Bednar, what he said after the press conference after last game, you feel like he's ready to start the Blednar.
Yeah.
Like basically like
Mix it up.
we've
He
got to be consistent. We've got to go out there and show some effort. And sometimes, I mean, I know he doesn't like to do this, but sometimes you have to put guys in the doghouse for a little bit, like to kick him in the ass.
Well, and Evan Rodrigues had worked his way down to the fourth line. He had something like 4 points last week in the last week of games.
Yep.
So and not that he was playing so well, but it was like, okay,
At least the production's
worked.
coming back. Yeah.
Where I continue to be frustrated is that
The new hook thing.
the
yeah.
Alex Newhook thing just continues to not make sense.
And he's finding ways to produce, even in his limited minutes that they're giving him. So
He just keeps like stealing points here and there, but it's hard to do.
Yep. I don't have the perfect answers there, but I sure do hope we do see some more of that blending.
Yeah.
For sure. The other side of this one, and this is maybe less important tonight, the matchup is Ingram versus Georgiev. Avs obviously pretty familiar with Ingram after the playoff series last season. So you feel pretty good about that with them going against him.
Well, and you know that he's given them great performances because he was the one that took them into that game too.
He
The
can,
one goal
and he's also
performance he
gave
had.
them not so hot performances.
Yeah, and he had, I think this year he's had like a 40 or 50 save game that stole the Coyotes a game. So like Connor Ingram is perfectly capable on a given night of doing it. But to be honest, you just can't allow this tonight.
Right. Don't let that night be tonight if
This
you're
is
Colorado.
just is just a no bullshit, no frills, no. This is a no nonsense night.
Yep.
They need to just take care of business and treat the Coyotes as the bottom feeder that they are. And to be honest, the Coyotes need to stop winning hockey games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
stop finding their way into overtime.
They really do need to stop
That's
getting
very
points.
if they go through all this pain, all this cutting, and all this surgery, and all this losing, and they end up with the 6th pick,
Brutal.
you have totally botched. You have completely botched your rebuild job.
Yep.
Yeah. Especially with the draft picks I already have in hand. The other thing, too, though, is Georgiev has to get more consistent with his starts, right? Like, and I think we're starting to see a better kind of like usage from him where he's actually getting more consistent and getting used to being that starter.
AJ's been saying this all year, but I think it still remains true. The Avs can't get an average game out of that guy. He either gives up 1 or he gives up 4+.
Well, or the other, like, it sucks because the Seattle game happened where he gives up 3.
Yeah. That one's a little bit different.
And you're like, shit, because he was great in that game.
Right. But
He was great in that game, did not deserve what he got. And
But you even go back and look at the LA game, and he ends up giving up 4.
3 of the 4 goals are not ones that you're upset about with Georgiev.
Sure.
And the fourth one, the one the third goal that he gives up, but that last goal, the one goal that you do really look at and you're like, you'd really like a save, is a guy uncovered backhanding a puck from 1.5 feet away from him.
Yeah.
It's
We
true.
were just like, when we've seen the team play good defense in front of him,
He plays great hockey. Yeah.
he has very, very rarely thrown a game for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
There have been games where the defense hasn't played great and he hasn't played great.
Very true.
But he has not cost them very many games in which they have played well in front of him.
Yeah.
And so I do think there's a symbiotic relationship there. It's an easy line to draw. You play quality defense in front of the guy's going to win you the game.
Something you'd like to see the Avs do more of, certainly through these down
Something
stretches.
that they should be fully capable of doing.
Oh, absolutely.
Against this hockey
I
team.
mean, against most hockey teams, you would think. Even with some of the injuries, look, I get it. Maybe times the bottom of that defense doesn't look great, but you've watched their top guys maybe play one too many games where they haven't been good enough. I think on the Avs defense, that being Kale, Taves, Byram, and Gerard. All of them at times have done not enough.
Yeah.
So
lately, weirdly enough, the guy that I've had the least problem with is probably Gerard.
yep, agree.
a combination of Girard and Byram. It's not like Byram's put together a handful of bad games.
He had one tough game, and the rest of them he just hasn't been
his
super
level
noticeable.
has dropped off a little bit in the last week, and you'd
Yeah.
like to see it get a little, back up to where we were seeing it a little more consistently.
Meanwhile, you've had Kale, who had one great game, and then has just kind of been existing at best since then, or before then too, really. And then Taves has had a couple of unusually tough games.
Yeah, Taves a bad week.
Yeah.
Just a bad
Horrible
week for
last
the guy.
game.
Yeah.
Horrible last game.
So need a little bit of a step up there. Blaze, where are you stepping up your DraftKings bets?
Oh, this is a goal-scoring bonanza again. Got Mikko minus 155
Yeah,
now.
that's
It's
not
just
good money.
especially after last game, you wanted more from Mikko, so I think he will step back up.
Putting him next to McKinnon feels
Yeah,
like
yeah, on
155
put him,
is
yes. Rodrigues anytime goal. I mean, again, like being the least talented guy on the first line
You're the
gives you
least covered
opportunities
guy
because
on
you're
the
going to get
first
some
line.
looks, right?
Terry
So
Lekkinen
plus
has like
195.
19 goals this year doing exactly
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And then the last one, Byram anytime goal because I want it.
I like that.
Plus
Bet it because you
370.
want it.
I'm all about that reason. Not feeling it. Not any
I just
reasons.
want it.
I just want to
it.
see
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Take it where you can get it with DraftKings. Go over there, make your bets with the new account and the DNVR code. You bet $5, you get $200 in free bets. When you go over there, you must be 21 or older, Colorado only. Other terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. See the show notes down below for details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700, and it's void in Ohio. All right. Any final thoughts as we keep this one real short? We're a little late today, so we're speed running it.
Don't make me have concerns.
AJ?
This needs to be an easy game.
Yeah.
I mean,
It really should be.
and not the Sharks game level of easy, where that's probably
But
the
it
most
should be
dominant game. they
it
play
should be
all
a
year.
3-1, 4-1.
This really should not be a
Yeah.
super competitive game. Like
Yeah.
the Coyotes have plenty of fight in them,
But they're
and
just-
they do like to get frisky up on teams.
in mullet, maybe. Not as
Right,
much on the
but
road.
On
yeah.
the road, they have not been the same animal. And
Yeah.
don't let them hang around into a
Yeah.
game. This should be you want 2-0 in the first 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yep.
Make it easy for them to go away.
Yep.
All right. We are about 10 minutes from puck drop. We will be doing a watch along too, so join that. If you don't want to do that, at least come back for the post game and we'll break it down, whatever happens in this hockey game. We appreciate all y'all, and we will see you in a little bit.